So we're here in Henry Coe, and at this point we're standing amid some really fantastic oak savanna habitat, and one of the most reliable birds you're going to be finding here is the acorn woodpecker. Like the name implies, these are birds that are found around oak trees. Acorns are one of their favorite foods to eat and to store for the winter. So with these woodpeckers, we get to see some really unique behaviors. They're not solitary like most of our woodpeckers are. They tend to hang out in flocks. In fact, you're probably going to be hearing them behind me. They've got a really distinct, almost laughing seesaw call. Yep. And these birds actually build something called granaries. So what they'll do is they'll find a dead tree, or maybe a dead tree branch that's just sort of hanging in the tree. We call these snags. And they'll drill them full of holes in which they'll store acorns. And as the acorns shrink as they dry, they'll move the acorns around. Entire flocks will guard their granaries. With these birds, we get to see some cooperative breeding, which is always a really fun behavior to find in our birds. It's when it's not just the parents that are taking care of the young, making sure they're fed, making sure nests are protected, but there's also extended family members that will be involved in this. So we're not seeing just one or two acorn woodpeckers around their nests or their granary trees. We're seeing flocks of about a dozen, and they're going to be chattering back and forth to each other throughout the day. With our acorn woodpeckers, if you want to try and ID them in the field, listening for that call, that seesawing call, is really helpful. They're the only woodpeckers that are going to be making that sort of noise, but they're also really distinct birds just to look at. They've got a very pale eye. It almost looks white. When they're in flight, you get flashes of white on their black wings. They've got a bright white chest, and of course they've got that red head that most of our woodpeckers are known for. So they're a really distinctive bird. They're a ton of fun to watch because they're so social, and they're just one of these really fun, distinctive oak savanna birds that we get to see here.